Everything has happened before and will happen again.
If you like watching this type of content, please share it with your friends. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment on the post, and set to notify so that you can hear whenever we post new videos.
I called to inform you that you are Task Force Commander. What are your orders, sir?
Aye, ma'am. I have the con. Task Force Taffy 1. Begin long-range search and rescue pattern and enact new Helios protocol.
Commander Evans is going to be out of the game for at least 3 months. He's badly hurt. You're not reporting into your Admiral. You were going to be the Admiral, sir. We're ready to roll, Commander. We're gonna use 5 jumps to get back to New Helios.
We are not giving up on the Mercury. She's too valuable of an asset for the colony. But we will look for her, little by little, day by day. We will search the nebula, we will search the planets, we will search the stars. And we will never give up the fight. We will never let the Toasters take our island of civilization in the sea of the cold night from us. We will always stand as a beacon for our people, to find the way and to guide our people home and shepherd them to a better life. Do not fret. They are coming home. In time. So say we all.
President Corey Brooks walks into James Morgenstern's office, who stands and salutes her.
Good evening, Mom. How can I be of assistance?
Commander Morgenstern, I've got a job for you. Commander Evans is going to be out of action for at least 3 months.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate the honor. A little extra metal doesn't hurt either, as long as I get to keep the sword on the bridge.
I assume you will be moving your flag to the Mercury-class ship, the Athena.
Well, ma'am, I know she's an old bucket, but she's my old bucket, and this good old workhorse has done a lot of work for us. And, in all fairness, your Mercury's too valuable for it to be a command ship in a frontline battle anymore. We need that for production. In all fairness, ma'am, I was able to keep my people safe with a Heracles that was effectively rotting. So I believe I can do well with 15 top-of-the-line ships. Heaven forbid.
We are going to need to bring Lawson back if we can, though I will admit that her reputation sometimes exceeded her accomplishments.
Well, Mom, I haven't had the pleasure of working with her, so I wouldn't be able to comment accurately.
A lot has happened in the past 10 years. I have served 2 5-year terms as president of the New Helios colonies. As my last acting office, I have extended the mandatory retirement age of the Admiral of the Fleet from age 70 to 80. At that time, if he lives long enough, we will have to find ourselves a new military leader. The threat of extinction at the hands of these machines, the Cylons, has passed. We do not know the fate of the Toasters. We are happy they have passed into history. We have fought a political battle over women's reproductive rights versus our need to continue the species. I am proud of the fact that we have a population that now exceeds 750 million. That's a society we are growing at a high rate. I, for one, hope that we grow to the point where we can all agree to restore these rights and freedoms to where they were before the extinction or near extinction of our people. My last duty is the promotion of Commander Stephen Evans, from the rank of Commander to the rank of Rear Admiral. Commander Evans, you have waited patiently for a long time. Now get up to the podium and give us some words.
I know I've kept to a lower rank for budgetary reasons for many years, but I did manage to keep the Athena as my command, thanks to the graciousness of Admiral Morgenstern. One Mercury-class Battlestar cannot do the work of 3. However, with that handicap, we have done well. We now have more people wanting to join the Colonial Fleet than there are open spots on ships. It is my intention to re-establish the professional corps of officers and enlisted persons. The great mystery that you all know to be, and that solving it may never happen, will be at least pursued under the joint administration of myself and Vice Admiral Morgenstern. We will endeavor to try and find out what happened to the Mercury, the Solaria, and the Saturn.
Admiral Evans, this is the report you've been waiting for. We definitely have signs of toasters within 500 light years of this area.
The Rear Admiral was sitting at his desk. The Colonial Fleet was pretty casual these days. The younger man, who held the rank of captain, dropped the folder onto the desk, which was in the mobile shipyard. It made that bureaucratic, satisfying noise as it cut through the air on the way down to the desk. It was a large folder with some printed photos in it. The Vice Admiral had signed off on it and asked we were Admiral Evans to add his opinion.
Summarize it for me, Captain Clemens. You know I'm a busy admiral.
We hit jackpot this time. 2 separate finds. The first is a blood field left over by a modern raider. The kind that has blood and all that. We got enough of the sample to do a DNA check. It is related to the samples from our era and the war that ended 7 years ago. This was manufactured less than 4 years ago. There are not many technological changes, but it's definitely a new batch of modern raiders.
Captain Clemens, are you sure it's not just a wrecked Nemesis-class ship?
Absolutely not. We picked up a half-dozen ships of that class, none of which have been operating in this area. There are war casualties from our journey from the colonies to here in New Helios. The second find is even more fantastic. It's a heavy raider. It has living components as we always suspected. The crash site has evidence of 5 or 6 dead Centurions. The heavy raider itself was modified to allow a Centurion of any type to operate it. That includes the First War variety of toaster.
Captain, when was this ship manufactured?
13 years ago, before the start of the Second Cylon War. It was destroyed 7 years ago. The logs in the navigational database are the real find here. There are log entries made by humanoid Cylons claiming that the ship was based on the last Rebel base star.
Well, go on, Captain. Get to the point.
There were dozens of log entries. They claimed 3 models of the Toasters joined the humans and rebelled against the other models. They mentioned the 6s and the 8s. There are entries documenting a civil war and an eventual alliance with humans from the Battlestar Galactica. A lot of material until the humans settled on Earth, wherever that is. There are dozens of intentionally erased records in the navigation of the database of this heavy raider. The logs say that they found a new planet called Earth and the Galactica was heavily damaged by her final jump away from something called the Cylon colony. We have no references about what that might be, but there was a battle in the Cylon Civil War and resulted in severe damage to the ship and the destruction of FTL capability of the Galactica.
I wonder if Adama made it.
Every spare byte of computer storage in this navigational database was overwritten with random numbers millions and millions of times. We've not found any way to reconstruct the navigational records to Earth. The reason given for this was the Centurions and the last modern base star were freed to explore and evolve.
So the Centurions modified their memories and their operating system so that they would forget where they came from. They didn't want to pose a danger to humanity?
Exactly, Admiral, that is exactly my point. They erased the location of Earth, but not the memory of Earth. 7 years ago, the war against the colonies ended with the destruction of 3 models of Cylons and the settlement of Galactica and the rest of their fleet on the second Earth. The first Earth was destroyed by nuclear holocaust in another war after inventing toasters in the Cobol era. These 3 models and their Centurions went to great effort to erase all navigational memory in every single survivor of the war. Then they search and explore looking for a new home to manufacture parts and new beings. For about 5 years they searched after resurrection technology. We don't know whether that succeeded or not because the ship crashed with that mission incomplete. The date references are vague, perhaps intentionally. They considered the war on behalf of the humans heroic and wanted the memory of the deed to continue on. They wanted a legacy.
Captain, what was the scope of their exploration?
It was gigantic, sir. A radius of over a 1 million light-year. The database was incomplete due to damage during the crash. They found sources of fuel and of minerals and ore. Some of it was very close to New Helios. Those locations, we have confirmed. We have a new Tylium source 105 light-years from here.
How the frack did we miss that?
The exciting part is, there's a reference to the Battlestar Mercury, Solaria, and Saturn. Take a look at the back page pictures.
Admiral Evans looked at the blown-up, granny pictures. They were very low resolution, apparently damage in the crash clearly though on the edge of a star, or some celestial body were the outlines of 3 heavy battle stars. 2 were Mercury class, and 1 was a Jupiter Mark II.
Captain Samuel Clemens, you are the worst storyteller I ever met. Is there any navigational data in the computer database on these?
There is. We've got exact coordinates. It's going to require, how do you say, a shit ton of fuel to get there if we decide to go.
Why would we decide not to go?
The logs. There was evidence of a massive, celestial body in the system where this picture was taken. The theory from the scientific readings is there was a black hole. The 3 battle stars came out of an emergency jump on the edge of the event horizon and will be there forever. What actually happened is they were trapped and destroyed moments after the jump.
Was a black hole? Sam, are there backups and readings and data to prove this black hole theory?
No, as you know, there's a flaw in the design of the Cylons. Certain kinds of radiation quickly starts to melt their circuits. They documented a massive radiation field, put up some warning buoys and headed back for a planned meeting with their base star. Forensics say an error in an FTL jump caused the crash.
Any problem for us ordinary humans, Dr. Clemens?
I wouldn't plan a vacation there. Over the long haul, that radiation's not gonna do us any good either. We can probably get a small ship within range to get readings to verify the fate of the warships and the existence of the black hole. The scientific conclusion is that there was not an ability to take adequate readings. We have no exploration data of that sector. We have pointed our most powerful telescopes on that area though. The readings are quite thin, but do not match the conditions of any previously documented black hole.
So we have a mystery to explore. They might be frozen in time by some new type of stellar anomaly. Might we be able to knock them out of the path toward the event horizon and rescue them?
Not possible, sir. They are all quite dead for quite a long time. There is no hurry. We can do the mission at a much lower fuel cost when the FTL Mark IV enters service in 5 or 6 years.
I see you left the conclusion, however, fate unknown. So there's enough of a doubt in your report because I still want to spend the money and the fuel to verify it. We are gathered here today 21.5 years after the task force led by the Battlestar Mercury was lost. We are here to celebrate 18 months late the retirement of nearly 82-year-old Admiral James Morgenstern. Also, there's a little matter of my promotion to Vice Admiral, which I find wholly unnecessary. This is because the budget only has sufficient funding for one admiral. We also celebrate today the end of operational tests of the Mark VI FTL faster-than-light drive. After the deadly failure of the Mark III drive, which was based on the Cylon drive, which was designated the Mark II drive, finally the Mark VI model was proven to be reliable enough to resume our exploration of the galaxy. Finally, we have a drive system that is reliable and accurate enough to take a larger Battlestar to the site where the Heavy Raider documented the fate of the Mercury, Saturn, and Solaria. Let us take a moment of silence to honor those who were lost in the tests of the Mark II, the Mark III, the Mark IV, and the Mark V faster-than-light drives. We are gathered here today to celebrate my long-past-due retirement. I happily passed the command of the fleet in the colonies of New Helios to the care of Admiral Wilson. You have been a fine Rear Admiral, and you will be a fine Vice Admiral in the future. Samantha, we have but one mission that we waited for many years to carry out. I thank you for my honorary role on the mission to document the end state of Task Force Mercury. A simple scientific mission to find out why photos taken by the Cylons many years ago appear to indicate the presence of a black hole, while other readings with power telescopes disagree. Period. It is amazing that over 40 years the colonies of New Helios have expanded from under 250,000 persons to over 20 million today. We have 3 candidates for every spot in the war fleet, or the defense fleet, as we call it today. We have built a self-sufficient society, and from all evidence we have outlasted the remnants of the Cylons. I am proud and happy to pass the torch to you, Vice Admiral Samantha Wilson.
Contact. Marks on the board.
Doctor, this is the coordinates from the Cylon navigational computer. Is it not?
Yes, Admiral, the radiation levels are exactly as expected. The star settings are exact match to the Cylon navigational computer and all evidence from that crashed ship. Only one little problem: no Mercury, no Saturn, no Solaria. The battle stars are gone.
Major Smith, I spent weeks in hearings before the Quorum of the 12. We spent millions of qubits to buy the ammunition, to buy the fuel for this mission, and you're telling me that 3 battle stars are not here. I understand that there's an event horizon and we just see them on the edge of it for forever, but there's no event horizon. All we have is a great big goddamn radiation field. Okay. We sit here for 3 days and then we jump home. No missions, no patrols. This may be a Cylon trap. We sit here and maintain complete electronic silence. At least that puts off the presidential briefing I promised for 3 days.
If you like watching this type of content, please share it with your friends. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment on the post, and set to notify so that you can hear whenever we post new videos.